Kent Peters and Money Talk here with another video. And this is something that we all fear. The Terminator. Not really, but it's close. We all fear that robots are going to take our jobs, leaving us completely homeless. But is that true? Will this happen? Well, some jobs AIs will take. Eventually, every job does become obsolete over time. You go to YouTube, there's, I think it's a YouTube short. Is a YouTube short video? It'll tell you jobs that became obsolete over the last 200 years. I mean, it's pretty interesting. And there was some I didn't really know existed. And that was an elevator operator. I haven't really looked into it, but I guess they controlled, I guess they were in the elevators and they controlled what floors it goes to. I'm not quite sure how it goes, but I was on the job, and there was this lady. She said when she was a kid, she wanted to be an elevator operator when she grew up. I'm like, what's the elevator? I'm thinking like, what is the elevator operator? I didn't know what it was. But she was an older lady, so I guess in her time when she was a kid, there was like somebody operating the elevator. But I've never seen one ever. I think they were obsolete by the time I came around. Maybe they were like around the 70s or 60s. I mean, they could have been around the 60s. One of my parents knew what elevator operator were. I don't know. But anyway, eventually every job will, not every job, but many jobs will become obsolete over time. So what type of jobs will become I'm saying obsolete. I guess not really obsolete. AI is doing it, is it? I don't know. But what kind of jobs will AI take from us? The type of jobs they will take. Working in the sewers. They can have that job. I don't want anything to do with working in the sewer. The only time I ever wanted to go in the sewer is in my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle phase. That was the only time I wanted to play in the sewer. But as I got older, as I know what really goes on in the sewer, nope, I'm staying out there. AI robots, they can have that job. Construction worker jobs. I see AI taking over that. Because the AI, they don't complain about working long hours. They do not complain. They do not need to take time off. The AI will never request to take time off. They're never late. They don't have to sleep. I mean, they do have charge. AI doesn't get old. I mean, some parts would have to be changed, I would imagine, but it's a lot easier to replace parts for a robot than it is to replace parts for a human. Because if a human has back problems, they hurt their back working on a job, they're probably going to have to retire much earlier than they planned on. If they're working a construction job. But some people, when they break certain bones in their body, they don't go back to being 100%. But the AI, just replace the part, and they're all set again. And they don't talk back. Cashiers, I mean, that's been happening since I was a kid. The self-checkout, it's been around since the earliest I seen a self-checkout register was in Winn-Dixie back in 2000, so they're not new. I mean, some stores did get self-checkouts later. The first self check I saw was Winn-Dixie. The second will probably been Walmart. Then Rose. I think Rose has self checkout too. For a long time, Publix would not get a self checkout. For years, I was working there. All these other stores, they would have self checkouts, but Publix didn't really have self checkouts. Until recently, I'd say about 5 years ago, they finally decided to get a self checkout. You know, Winn-Dixie had it for like 2 decades already. It was like, that's the same year I quit Publix too. It's like the year I quit, they decided to finally get the self checkouts. But there's still some cashiers, but I don't know, eventually maybe they'll be like no more cashiers. I hear that there is a McDonald's restaurant. I don't know if this is true, but this is why I saw online on YouTube. Sometimes YouTube you need to take it with a grain of salt because some are actors. How you know I'm not an actor? I'm just messing y'all. I'm as real as it's probably gonna get with YouTube. I try to be honest with you when I do these videos. Like when I do the Uber Eats challenge, I give you the real results. I mean, I want the results to be over two. I want to be 200 at least a minimum of how long I would, or the 12-hour Uber Eats challenge I did about a couple years ago. I was hoping I'd get at least 200 on the low end, but I don't even think I got 150 that day. So I'm as real as it's probably gonna get with YouTube. But back with the McDonald's. There's this McDonald's. They are like completely AI. There's supposed to be like no workers. That like the robot brings your food to you. I mean, I don't quite know how true that is. Drivers. Eventually, AI will probably take over taxi drivers. Like, there's already self-driving cars. They're just in the early phase right now. You know how technology is when it's in the early phase. It's just not that good. Like, there's not really that many charging stations right now. Like, in my area, like, I think the closest charging station is somewhere in Park. What is it? Is it Gate Park? I'm not quite sure. I can't even think of the name, but it's quite a drive to. If I wanted to charge, if I had an electric car, I wanted to charge. I'll have to drive quite a while to find a station, unless I had one built into like maybe my garage at my house. I don't even have a garage. I live in an apartment complex. But some apartment complexes do have electric chargers, I would imagine. Not mine, not right now, but who knows? Maybe in the 30s or 40s they'll have charging stations in my apartment complex. If they ever do, maybe I'll get one then. But that'll take away taxi driver jobs if they ever became like fully automatic. Maybe they'll take over the Uber Eats jobs too. I guess they would have to get like a robot that physically walks into like the restaurant. It picks the bag up, and I guess there would be two ways these AI could drive around. They could either have like a self-driving car that drives itself, or get an actual robot that drives the car. I mean, that's another possibility. But either way, these customers, not the customers, but the people that work with Uber Eats, they are picky. Like this, if they see like something that pays $12, but you have to drive like 30 miles, most of these Uber drivers, they're not gonna take that order. At least smart ones. I hope. I try to take at least $1 per mile at the minimum. But most of them, they're just not gonna take that. That is garbage. But a robot, they don't care. They'll take it because they don't have those. They don't care about money. They're just a machine. So taxi drivers, yeah, they are going to become obsolete at some point. I mean, obviously not right now because the technology for self-driving cars aren't that good. So we'll probably be in the 30s, maybe 40s when that happens. I think by the 50s, it'll probably be like extremely rare to see taxi drivers, if they're even, I mean human taxi drivers, if they're even still around. They'll probably all be AIs. Plus, a lot of people are getting old. Want to get old. A lot of old people are just not capable of driving like they used to. So eventually this generation, this young generation, they're gonna be old one day. They might not physically be able to drive, so they're gonna need to. They might not have family either. So some old people, they just don't have family. They live alone. So that robot, the self-driving car, they rely on that for their transportation. So I guess young people today are going to have it easier when they're old in the future compared to the old people today. And speaking of driving, let's talk about truck drivers. I mean, this does affect me because I drive a box truck at my job. Will AI take that job over? I mean, I believe it's possible, but that's going to take a while. I believe that we'll have full self-driving taxis before we have full self-driving box trucks and semi-trucks. Because trucks are a little bit more complicated than cars. So just like with cars, how we have cars that park by themselves right now, but don't quite fully drive by themselves. I believe that the same thing will happen with like these trucks. It'll start early. It'll start with trucks that like could park by themselves, which is gonna be a game changer. Because a lot of times it's hard to see back there. It really is. You get the AI take over. Get the AI to park that truck for you. AI will be parking better than the human drivers. Need help getting out? Press the AI. Let the AI take over to get out of the parking place. That is going to be a game changer. And of course, over time, it will be an option for the truck to be like fully automatic, where the AI takes over. If that does happen, still you'll likely need somebody in the truck just to monitor things, just to make sure people don't steal. So it'll probably be a while before truckers are like completely out of their job. Just like the taxi drivers, maybe it'll be like 30s or 40s, or maybe at 50s. Maybe it'll be like in the 50s when truck drivers lose their jobs to AI. But by then, I plan to retire by then. By the 50s, I plan to be retired. I don't plan to be driving box trucks anymore at that point. So what is next? Jobs that AI might take. Maybe they'll take this. I'm not quite sure. Chefs. Like I just said that McDonald's apparently had this restaurant that's run completely by AI. So I guess apparently the AI cooks the food. Then they get this robot bringing food to you. So maybe robots will take over the chef jobs. I don't know. Of course, a robot, they can't taste food, so they'll still need humans there. They just cannot taste the food. But still, it is a possibility. So it's amazing that they'll take over. Police force. They might take over. I don't think it'll be like completely. But I can see robots taking policemen job. They'll still need humans to like run things. But it'll probably be mainly the robots doing the police patrols, like going out. Somebody's getting assaulted by their boyfriend. Get the AI to do it. To kick that door down, jack the boyfriend up, put handcuffs on, throw him to that police car, then drive him back to a police station. Because humans, they get shot, they get hurt a lot easier than a robot. They get shot, they get hit, they go down. But you can make it so that when a robot get punched, it don't even hurt the robot, it can hurt the person's hand. I'm pretty sure that there's like some women, some men that would love to get punched, not get hurt. But for the person that hit them to actually break their hand, I mean, that will be a reality with the AI robots. Maybe we could use AI for the military too. Yeah, that is a possibility too. Maybe World War III will be fought with AI robots. I really hope we get AI robots before Russia. AI soldiers, I should say. I hope we get AI soldiers before Russia does. So I can see soldiers, robots being a possibility. At least working alongside the soldiers, at least. So jobs, I don't think they'll ever take over. Lawyers. Robots will never be lawyers. I just don't see it happening. Comedians, robots, they don't have a sense of humor. They're just not funny. President, nobody will ever vote to have an AI be president. It's just not happening. But what does this mean for us as humans? As AI takes over, like one door closed, another door is going to open. So you're going to need somebody to like know how to program AIs, know how to repair AIs. I don't know, man. They'll get AIs to repair AIs. I don't know how this is going to work. But you still want a human to like program these AIs, so you're going to need more education, apparently. I'm sorry, but a lot of us are going to need more educations in the future. That's usually how it is, because a couple hundred years ago, you really didn't need that much education. You get by pretty good with basic reading and writing back in the old days. And some people couldn't even read. Some people still got by pretty good without reading a couple hundred years ago. But today, in today's world, that's just not happening. So some jobs will pop up with the AI, like AI programming. There'll probably be like different types of programmers too. Like different levels of programming, I would imagine. I don't know much about AI robots when it comes to programming. There's part of me that actually would love to get in that field. But I'm kind of intimidated. Because I kind of like robots, to be honest with you. But I don't want them taking my job. At least wait until I'm retired. Then they can take certain jobs. But until then, hopefully my job is safe. And hopefully your job is safe too. But if the AI actually did take your job, You just have to look for another job. So yes, it is possible that AI will take your job. But it's also likely that it won't happen for a while. It could be 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I mean, we just don't know how fast the AI is going to advance. I mean, I was thinking how long I was at my job for like 16 years. So this in 2009. There were smartphones, but they weren't as advanced as they are now. And that happened in 16 years. So then you imagine what 16 years from now is going to be like. We just don't know. And I got 20 minutes, so I might be running out of time. So if you like this video, give me a thumb up. If you really like this video, subscribe to my channel and hit that bell button. That way you should be notified every time I do a video. But that being said, have a good weekend. Bye for now.